So hello everyone, welcome to the another episode of my interview experience series. This is my fifth episode of the interview experience series. In this episode, we are going to talk about Goa Institute of Management interview experience. And today we have here Kausav Datta with us. So he is going to share his interview experience. Kausav Datta, first, can you please briefly introduce yourself and give your idea about your profile and background?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. So my 10th was 95%, 87.2% in class 12, and 68.2% in graduation. I have a degree in aerospace engineering, a BTech degree in aerospace engineering, and I'm a general engineering male with 42 months of work ex in TCS and IT. My CAT percentile was 93.07%.
Okay. So you have a 93.5 percentile in CAT. So okay, let's
Yes.
start with the first your interview experience. Can you please briefly share that what is the process before joining the interview of GIM?
So GIM is a completely online process और उसका पहले WAT होता है. The WAT happens a few days ahead of that. It's not on the same day as the PI process. WAT के लिए एक full day का slot मिलता है and you can log in any time you want to and give 30 minutes of your time to write an essay 300 words in 30 minutes. That is the process. No specific time, just a slot for an entire day. You can join anytime you want. That is the process for WAT. PI then we have to book for as our requirement, and after that, जिस दिन PI set किया उस दिन join करना है. It's an online process. You'll be given tentative slot, and you have to join 15 minutes before your slot. और वो लोग college side से भी आपको आधे घंटे पहले inform कर देंगे कि your slot is upcoming if you are available or not. तो बाकी रेस्ट ऑफ इट इज अ स्टैंडर्ड प्रोसेस. अगर आपने कोई भी ऑनलाइन इंटरव्यू अटेंड किया है तो वैसे ही होता है. तो उसमें जॉइन करते हैं, फिर जैसे ही पैनल फ्री होता है वो आपको कॉल कर लेंगे आपके इंटरव्यू के लिए. आपको रेडी रहना पड़ेगा आपके स्क्रीन के सामने एंड ऑल दैट. तो या यू विल
So
जॉइन योर कॉल. और हाँ, यस.
so generally they conduct what and PI. So they do not conduct GD. Am I right?
No, there
Okay.
is no GD for gym.
Okay. So can you please briefly
It's
share
what and
the
PI.
topic of what?
There are multiple what topics even. I got two choices. I do not remember the other choice. The one I wrote it one was a train journey.
So train journey or what topic? Oh, that's a quite good
Yes.
topic. Okay.
Mhm.
So after the what? So can you briefly tell the timing? Like what is the total time taken for that?
WAT, so as I said, there is no set timing. An entire slot is given like from 9 a.m. to 6. There is a time book. You can join anytime you want as per your requirement, and it will be a proctored what. There will be someone from the other side. They will monitor your screen. You have to share your screen and you have to write it. Half an hour for 300 words. That is the time. 30 minutes,
Okay.
300 words.
So afterward, how much time will it take to your turn in PI?
So the what and PI do not happen on the same day. What after what you are free for the day, nothing more to do. PI you have to set as per your need requirement. I set
Okay,
it on
so
22nd.
what and PI are on separate days.
Yes.
Okay, so how after how many days did your PI conducted?
My what was on it was on 12th February, I think, if I remember correctly. It was on 12th
Okay.
February, and my PI was on 22nd. I had other interviews in that time frame. After that, on I set up on 22nd when I was free next.
And your PI is on?
22nd, 22nd February.
Okay. So
So 10
22nd
days.
was your day of PI. So can you tell
Yes.
the what are the transcript of your PI? Like what is the interaction that you have with your panelist? And before that, can
Yes.
you give the brief idea about the panelist?
Yes. Panelist, I don't know them. I didn't recognize them. As I said, I was waiting in the interview room for around 15 to 20 minutes. Then they called me in. Then my PA started. Panelists, there were two panelists in their 50s, I guess. uh, professors of GIM, two panelists. They asked me one after the other. They asked me questions, few HR questions. Why? They asked me for a brief introduction. Tell me about yourself. And then they asked like I'm from an aerospace background. Then I worked in IT, so they wanted to know about that. Why I switched from aerospace to IT. Then they asked me some opinion based questions since I have worked in IT. So, what do I think about work from home versus work from office? Then they asked me some cross question on that. Then they came back to my academic field. So they asked me about a couple of questions on aerospace, which I answered. Then they switched. Then this was all. These questions were asked by the first panelist. Then the second panelist started asking. He asked me a question about. So I was shortlisted for the core PGDM and the BIFS program of BIFS and PGDM program in GM. They asked me why didn't I choose the BDA program since I was from IT. So I explained why. Then they asked me a few tech-based questions since I worked in IT, so that those also I answered. And finally, I think there was another opinion-based question about like if we can move to a paperless office, what are my views on that? So I answered on all that as well. And finally, the last question they asked was what were my college extracurriculars. So with that, my interview was done. At the end, the first panelist asked me what was my CAT percentile as well as what other calls I had. So I told them that also. After that, it was finished. That was the entire.
Okay, so do they give you any feedback? Like, how was your interview?
No, they did not give any feedback. But otherwise, they didn't grill me. They were not too tough. It was pleasant. Interviewers had a positive expression. It was a good experience, not grilling. And they did not ask any GK or current affairs based questions as well.
Okay, so they do not ask you GK questions. Okay. So were
Yes,
they patient enough
not
to
enough.
listen to your answer, or did they cut you in between while you giving your answers?
No, no, they never cut me off. They patiently heard every answer I gave them.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Kausadatta, thank you for sharing the interview experience of your GIM. And I think that it will definitely help many of the aspirants who have their interview lined up in next few days. So I hope that it will help you. This is it for the today's GDPR experience. We will meet you in the next export. And till then, stay tuned to the channel. Thank you.